McHenry, host of The Writer's Voice, and my guest today is Nicole Asselin, who writes cozy mysteries. She's going to be talking about writing while you work full-time, and she's also going to be talking about her muse. Welcome, Nicole. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
I am doing fine, and I'm very happy to have you too, because you have some really interesting things to share. First, though, I want you to show everybody your book, okay? Murder at First Pitch, which came out last year. There you go. So it's not exactly baseball season, but I'm really, really curious to talk about muses, because I don't know that I have a muse. Maybe I do and I don't know about it, but you have a very defined muse. So why don't you tell us about your muse?
Yeah. So obviously with a baseball cozy mystery, baseball is kind of the forefront. So my muse came from the fact that I love baseball and I watch baseball. I listen to baseball, even now when the Red Sox are not winning. So I knew I wanted to write something that I could put my passion into, and that's baseball. And like I said, my grandfather was a big Red Sox fan and got us into the sport. So it's always been in my life and kind of in that background.
But like you, I have a day job, and my day job is writing, not fiction, which is my favorite thing to write. And why don't you talk about some of the challenges that you find when you have a full-time job and you have to do your fiction writing, the writing that you have a passion for, isn't first thing on your list. It has to be fit in around other things.
It's been tough. The first book, I feel like a lot of writers are probably like this too. Sequels are hard. So writing the second book was a little bit different from the first book. The first book was the book of my heart, the book of my passion. So that kind of came a little bit easy. With book two, I found it a little bit harder. I got a new job that was a little bit more involved, and afterwards, and I write for a living technically. So it's like sometimes the last thing you want to do is look at a computer when you get home from work and try to, even if it's something you love, you're like, I can't stare at a screen for another hour. I will die. Of course, then you watch TV and whatever.
I think that if you feel guilty, then you're not doing it right. And for me, I like to write every day only because the continuity is there,
Sure.
The flow is there.
And I think people get nervous when I started first, doing this novel project and figuring out my series and everything, you hear from a lot of people in writing advice or classes, oh, you have to write every day. You have to write every day. And then you get so worked up about it and you're like, oh my God, if I don't write every day, I'm a failure.
I think that a lot of people who are just born to write, they just write, and you find your own rhythm.
I agree.
So tell us about your next book that's coming up, Concession Stand Crimes.
So it will be book 2 in the Fancy Pantsy Ballpark Mystery Series, published by Panda Moon Publishing. So it'll follow Madeline Boucher, who is the main character of book 1. And of course, she, as one does in a cozy mystery, she stumbles upon another dead body. So book 1 focuses mainly on her life with the Abington Armadillos, getting into this job and kind of getting used to it. Book 2 takes us to Salem for a game where I made up another team in Salem. Don't go find it. So Salem's a fun city because you can play with the witchcraft and all that. So I had an old coworker of mine who's a brilliant artist. Actually, I commissioned 3 tarot cards from her specifically for this book. So they're baseball cat focused.
Okay.
So that there's a little bit of mysticism in the next one, but it's still mainly focused on Abington and the team and all that. And it's on schedule for next spring when hopefully, knock on wood, we have a full baseball season. Fingers crossed, and I hope to be able to get out and go to actual ballparks.
So hold up that cover of the one that you have so people can find it. They can find it on your website.
Right, and you can go to bookshop.org, which is one of my favorite websites because it supports indie bookstores. You can order it through them as well.
Bookshop.org is the best way to go. And people can find you online at NicoleAsselinWriter.com. And you do a lot of social media. They can find you on Facebook.
But if you go to my website, there's a clickable link. So you don't
all the links there.
And also Instagram. Come to my Instagram for cat pictures. There's a lot of pictures of my cat on that one.
Okay. But we can get to you everywhere in the world from your website at NicoleAsselinWriter.com.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us this week. Hope to see you in the spring. And of course, I'll be chatting with you between now and then.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Glad to have you. Look forward to having you again. Bye-bye.